This video gives an insight into the Siltex treatment of the Carp Pond at Ravenfield, an operation which was carried out to improve both the quality of the fish and the fishing at the ponds. But let me say at the outset, it didn't start well. It was cold and wet, and the first thing we did was to lose the boat out in the pond. We had to fetch another boat then and retrieve the one we wanted to use to put the Siltex in. And here's Keith going to fetch it. There's a bit of a dab hand at rowing, Keith, as you'll see in a moment when he brings the boat back in again. So what's all this Siltex business about? Siltex is a highly porous form of calcium carbonate, chalk, consisting of microscopic particles less than 5 microns in size. It's environmentally friendly and has no detrimental effects on plants or animals. In fact, far from it. It's used for a number of reasons, but perhaps it's best known for its effects on organic silt, like leaf and weed litter, which choke the bottom of ponds. Organic silt accumulates when the organisms that normally feed on the organic matter are no longer able to do so because of low oxygen levels and increased acidity. The microscopic particles of Siltex penetrate down into the silt, increasing oxygen levels, reducing acidity, and thus allowing these microscopic organisms to re-establish themselves, increasing biodiversity and creating a benefit in the food chain for fish and other creatures. In so doing, it gradually reduces silt levels and increases water depth. Here we can see the guys loading up bags of Siltex onto the boat. It doesn't look a lot from here, but they're putting something like 1/4 of a ton onto the platform. And this is going to be fed off into the water and distributed by the action of the motor at the back of the boat. It appears at first to be going in great big lumps, but it isn't really, because it's extremely fine. The disturbance of the water by the propeller on the boat soon distributes it around everywhere, and you'll see as the operation goes on just how the water changes from its normal colour into this grey chalky colour. You can already see it in the edge at the moment. Although Keith's done this sort of thing many times, it's the first time that Stuart, with the yellow jacket on, has been in the boat. But he seems to be getting the hang of it fairly quickly. You can see at this stage how the wave action of the propeller is starting to distribute the salt in the water. Here we are with the third lot. When this is complete, something like 3/4 of a ton of Siltex will have been put in the pond. You can clearly see in the background how the colour of the water is changing as the Siltex spreads throughout the water column. We're often asked if the operation affects the fishing. In our experience, it doesn't seem to do so. On another pond which had been treated with Siltex, an angler began fishing as soon as the operation was complete and began catching fish straight away. In fact, on this particular lake, just less than a day after the operation had been complete, a carp angler was catching carp to 18 pounds here too. Prior to carrying out this Siltex operation, a number of trees were cut back on both banks. You can clearly see the effect on the far side now, where the grass is starting to grow, the bank is much drier than it was, and of course, reducing the number of trees has reduced the amount of leaf litter that was going in the pond. It certainly looks better from this side anyway. Just about finished now. Last run round on the near the dam, and then we'll get the boat back to the other end, get it washed down and get all the choke off it, and that's it, job done. Let nature take its course. That's it, job complete. You can see it's beautifully coloured, the water now, nice and even. The whole exercise took 2 hours. If you do it properly, it's not difficult to do.